Hello again, and welcome back to Maniac Math with Mrs. Carell. Make sure you put your name at the top of your paper, and where it says video number, you need to write 5.3.1. Now we are just learning, so you are not responsible for writing this in any of the boxes on your page, but you do need to pay attention because this will help you later when we get to the problems. So we're going to practice reading and writing some decimals. Oops, something just fell. All right, this one says 6 and 75 hundredths. Now what I've been telling you is the last number word you hear in the written words and the place value, that's what you need to pay attention to first, because that lets you know where our number is going to end. So 6 and 75 hundredths. 5 hundredths tells you where it's going to end. So 5 in the hundredths place. Well, where's the hundredths place? After the decimal, we have tenths, hundredths, 5 hundredths. So we're going to write that in there. But the whole number there is 75 hundredths. So this 5 hundredths place, words just tell us where we're going to start off. But we also have 6 and, so this is 6 and, remember our decimal is where we say the word and. 6 and 75 tenths, hundredths, 75 hundredths. All right, for the next problem, and remember, this is not in a green box, so just pay attention. We have 9 and 24 hundredths. Remember, 4 hundredths. That's going to tell us where our last number is going to go. 4 in the hundredths place. 4 in the hundredths place. Decimal, tenths, hundredths. 4 in the hundredths place. But we got to get the 20 part, because look, we have 24. Remember, this part just tells us where we end up. Now we have 9. So 9 and 24 hundredths ends in the hundredths place. Okay, you ready for this one? This is a little bit of a challenge. 0 and 6 thousandths. 6, ooh, that's a blue pen on blue color. That's not going to work out. 6 thousandths. 6 thousandths. So we need to find out where is that thousandths place. Tenths, hundredths, thousandths. And the number was 6. But wait, there's a number 0 before the and. So 0 comes before the decimal. Okay, 0 and, but what do I do over here? They didn't tell me any tenths. They didn't tell me any hundredths. All we have are thousandths. When you come across something like this and they don't give you any tenths or any hundredths, you need to put a 0 in those spots. They are basically placeholders to let us know, hey, there's something coming up. It's just a tiny little 6 thousandths. All right, my friends, I forgot to draw the green box, but this is number 1. So this is where you start putting this on your paper, number 1. So anything inside of the green box, not this green box, the whole thing goes on your paper. Now you do not have to draw these boxes, but if it helps you, by all means, draw the boxes. So we're looking at 3 and 4 tenths. 4 tenths. Remember, this tells us where our last number goes. We're looking for the tenths column. Can you find it? What number do you think you should put there? Give it a shot. See if you got it right. So you should have 3 and 4 tenths. There's the tenths column. 3 and 4 tenths. Did you get that right? Okay, next up, 0 and 7 hundredths. 0 and 7 hundredths. 7 hundredths. Where's the hundredths place? Here's my decimal. Tenths, hundredths. It says 7 hundredths. Sorry for the squiggly line. I'm going to put 7 hundredths there. The 0 comes before the decimal point, so we have to put a 0 here. Do you remember what goes right here? We have to put a 0 placeholder. Did you remember that? So we have 0, 0, and a 7. 0 and no tenths, just 700ths. Okay, I'm going to ask you to do number 3, 4, and 5 on your own. Here's number 3. It says 1 and 8 thousandths. Number 4 says 4 and 16 hundredths. Ooh, that one might be a little bit tricky. Be careful. Number 5 says 5 and 9 thousandths. Okay, give those a shot. See how you can do, and then we will come back and move on to the next part. All right, this next part is about comparing decimals. So comparing in math usually means, is it bigger, smaller, or equal? So if you recall the bigger, greater than, less than, and equal signs, that's what we're talking about. So there'll be a number on one side and a number on the other side, and in here in the circle is where you're going to put either greater than, less than, or equal. So let's find out what number we have. Why are there all these gray boxes up here, Mrs. C? Well, this is how we compare. We're going to move the first box. What do we have? 6s. Well, that's the same. Can't compare yet because I still have more digits I need to look at. So let's look at the next digit. This one happens to be in the tenths place. In the decimal zone, tenths is the biggest part you can have. So let's see how big our tenths are. We have 3 tenths there, and we have, what is that? I don't know what that was, other than a mistake. But whatever, we're moving on. So the 6s were the same, but then when we went to the next digit, this one has a 3 and this one has a 0. Can you already tell which one is bigger? It's this one, right? I mean, if you took out the decimal, you could say 63 is definitely bigger than 60, right? But just for kicks, let's take a look at the other digits and see what we have hiding and see how it could be a little confusing at times. That doesn't look too difficult. 6 and 327 thousandths. 6 and 75 thousandths. Okay, pretty straightforward. Let's try another one. We're just doing some learning right now. You're not responsible for writing this down, but you are responsible for paying attention. All right, so when we're comparing decimals or just about any other number, start with the biggest place you have. Well, in this case, our biggest place happens to be 1s, believe it or not. And there's nothing but a 0 there. So far, they're equal. That's no help. All right, now we're going to look at the next digit in each number. In my tenth section, I have a 0 and another 0. Well, that's no help either. All right, got to look at the next digit in each one. See how I'm comparing the same place in each number at the same time? All right, we have a 200ths and we have 200ths. Really, Mrs. Krill? All right, we got to go all the way to thousandths. Over here we have 7. Look at this. We have 27 thousandths. So far, everything's been the same. What do you think? Will this one be bigger or smaller? Lo and behold, we have a 0. Since they both end in the same place, they both end in the thousandths place, what is bigger? 27 or 20? Well, 27 would be bigger. One more, and then we'll move on to writing this down for real. So, where do you think we should start when we compare? All the way to the left-hand side of each number. So let's see what we have here. We have 4 1s and 4 1s. Okay, it's the same so far. Now let's go to the next biggest place. We have a 3. What do you think this is going to be? Another 3. So far, it's still the same again, Mrs. Grill. All right. The next place we have a 1. What do we have here? Oh, we have a 2. Since everything else was the same, we can already tell that this one is bigger this time. But just for the heck of it, let's just check. We have a 9. What about this one? A 0. If you look at this, you can see 319, and over here you see 320. 320 is definitely bigger, so 4 and 320 thousandths would be bigger. So now we're doing one together. This is problem number 6 on your paper, so make sure you write this. If you feel comfortable not making the boxes and writing and tenths and hundredths and thousandths, that's fine. If you still need to write it, that's fine too. Make sure you can fit it all in box number 6. So here's our problem. We have 0 and 609 thousandths. It ends in the thousandths place. Versus 0 and 617 thousandths. Which one do you think is bigger? Well, both of the ones places are the same. All right, we checked those. Both of the tenths places are the same. They both have a 6 in them. When we get to the hundredths place, this side has 0 hundredths, but this side has 1/100th, which means already you can tell that this side is bigger without even going any farther. But if you needed to, you could look at this as a whole and this as a whole, simply because we only have zeros over here. 609 versus 617. Which one is bigger? This one is. There you go, the old teeth thing. Okay, number 7. We're going to do this one together, and then you're going to do some on your own. So let's take a very careful look at this one. We're comparing. Both of them have a 3 in the ones column. All right. Both of them have an 8 in the tenths column. Which one looks bigger? Usually I have kids tell me, oh, well, this one must be bigger because it has 800 and this only has 8. But let me ask you this. What is in the tenths or the hundredths column over here? Nothing. What's in the hundredths column over here? Still nothing, because 0 is nothing when it's on the end. Oh, so we could actually put a 0 in here. And look, there's nothing in here either, and there's nothing here. We could put a 0 there. So even when we don't have anything in the end columns, not when you do it in the middle, in the end columns, they are the same, because you can put a 0 on the end of any decimal. Now you can't do that with numbers that are not decimals. Like if I have a 3, I can't just turn it into 30 because it wasn't 30 to start with, it was 3. But if I have 3 like this, I can put as many zeros as I want out here. Doesn't change the value. So these are equal. All right, number 8, 9, and 10, you're going to do on your own. Okay, here's number 8. 5 and 1/100ths versus 5 and, what do we have here? 10 thousandths. Greater than, less than, equal. Okay, number 9. 2 and 125 thousandths versus 2 and 1300ths. What is bigger? Remember how we compared one digit at a time. Number 10. 4 and 890 thousandths versus 4 and 90 hundredths. Remember how we compared. Remember some other tips about zeros and things. Get those done. I think you got this.